One could easily succumb to vertigo in the high desert. The vastness echoes an underwater world where sagebrush has replaced coral, standing stout in the wind while clouds swirl in the distance. It's gritty ground, blistering hot in the summer and biting cold in the winter. Since 1946, this mesmerizing stretch of earth has largely been in the hands of the Bureau of Land Management. And for most of that time, our westward pioneers did not have high regard for this barren landscape. Until now.
You hear less people saying that the sagebrush rangelands are a wasteland. Now I think you see people that understand the value of them and the vegetation, the communities that are there, the wildlife species that are there, and the openness that comes with them.
John Roos is the former director of BLM Idaho, and he's always had an appreciation for the desert.
You know, it starts with even the setting that we're at. You can look around back behind us and you can see for miles.
Over the years, the Bureau of Land Management has been referred to as the Bureau of Livestock and Mining. And not without good reason. The BLM was created because of a merger between the General Land Office and the U.S. Grazing Service. But in 1976, with the passage of the Federal Land Policy and Management Act, the land was designated for multiple uses.
Livestock grazing, wildlife habitat, recreation, mining, issuance of rights-of-ways, and forestry are the 6 major uses that Congress identified. That's our core mission.
But today, it's recreation that's stepping into the forefront. Record numbers of Idahoans are spending time outdoors, and they're doing it in places where previously they hadn't been, like the desert.
I feel like the people have kind of found the BLM, for lack of a better term. I feel like people used to recreate a lot in the forest and had their favorite camping spot. But I think just due to demand and things being crowded, and then us possibly offering, additional opportunities out there as well, that we're just seeing a lot more people on the Bureau of Land Management.
With the change in availability of mountain bikes and e-bikes and ATVs, UTVs, I think it provided more opportunities for people to access some of the areas that they may not have been able to before.
A good thing, but worrisome too, because even though the desert looks tough, it's not as hardy as you might think.
You're talking about areas that they don't recover, whether it's from livestock grazing, whether it's from too many wild horses, whether it's from too many elk, or too many people. The resource just doesn't recover that fast. And that bothers me and that scares me.
And like everything, there's a learning curve that comes with spending time in a new area.
Yeah, you might be surprised if you go to a new area and find, there's livestock grazing on the trail that I want to go up, or, there might be somebody shooting, and it's a different level of awareness if you're not used to recreating on multiple use lands.
Bossing cows around is one thing, but bossing people around, that's completely different.
If you have a population that's moved into your area and they're coming from places where they didn't have the opportunity to use the public lands, they were never taught any land ethic. They were never taught any, resource education when they were in school.
It's definitely tough to please everybody. It's simply impossible to make sure that everybody's happy, because everybody's got their own special use and special area that they like, and they have a different picture than what the next person has on what they want that to be and look like. So it's impossible to please everybody. We just try to do our best, do what's right for the land.
What began as a land that couldn't seduce a single state has become land that's desired by many. But desire can be dangerous.
There's folks that used to say wildfire and invasives, wildfire and invasive, wildfire and invasives, and those are definitely big, but you got to add recreation in there now. So increased recreation use impacts the opportunity for invasive species to come in. Wildland fire obviously opens the door for invasive species. Invasive species is something that we aren't easily able to handle. All of it together is a big thing. I don't know that you can pick out one of those things as a major, because they're all tied together.
While grazing and natural resource extraction may still sit at the head of the BLM table, things are changing. Recreation is stepping up to the plate, raising its hand and reminding Idahoans just how pretty a lonesome landscape can be.
I like to be able to ride through sagebrush that's over the top of my head when I'm sitting on a horse. I like to see the wildlife that's utilizing that, the birds and the coyotes and all the rest of it. So there's nothing about being in the range that I don't like. Nothing.